Hello, what's up? Ali here, and on this video, we are going to discuss everything you need to know about PS4 Jailbreak. We are going to check the latest news to be able to set up your expectations, and we are also going to answer those frequently asked questions. So let us start with what is actually the latest firmware available for Jailbreak. Well, as of now, January 2024, the latest available jailbreak is still a 9.0. So we have received some questions asking about what about those jailbreaks showing some later versions. Well, it's just one of those videos online that are basically fake. So always remember, if it's not coming from legitimate sources or not coming from those developers themselves, then it is basically fake. Before there is an actual complete jailbreak to be released, expect that it is going to be a big news. So what are the actual updates? Well, recently there has been some bounties given to some of the developers regarding some bounties or regarding some exploits that they have discovered on the PS4 firmware. And this bounty is part of the Sony bounty system, where they provide bounties to any individual that can discover an exploit or a vulnerability on the PS4 firmware that can lead to an exploit or to a jailbreak. So is this a good or a bad thing? Well, for starters, it is actually a good thing because, of course, there is a possibility of an exploit. There is a way for a jailbreak, but since they have already reported it, we actually don't know what happened behind the doors. And to set our expectations, there has been some constant reports or bounties given over the past 2.5 years regarding of a new exploit, but we haven't got anything yet to give us a full jailbreak. Well, for those who are not yet familiar, to be able to have a complete jailbreak, we need two kinds of exploit. We need the entry exploit. For now, we are using a WebKit exploit. And also, we need the kernel exploit to be able to use the actual jailbreak. So over the past 2 years, there has been some reports of some entry exploit using a specific classic game, and there has been some entry exploit using the Blu-ray drive of the PS4. Actually, that was one of the biggest updates recently, and some of the users have actually bought a specific Blu-ray writer to take advantage of this exploit, but unfortunately, it did not came to a fruition. And also, there is another entry exploit that was just disclosed recently. But until we get a kernel exploit that can pair that entry exploit, we won't be able to get a full working jailbreak. So what can we actually expect in the future for the PS4 jailbreak? Well, recently, some of the developers have been giving off tweets for a possible good news that can greet us this 2024. But there hasn't been any follow-up tweets yet. Is it a sign for us to expect again? Well, if you are already on 9.0, there may be some good news. Now, there has been some developments for an exploit that doesn't need a USB if you are 9.0, because if you are on 9.0, you'll have to use a USB dongle to activate your jailbreak. But for the newer jailbreak, I don't think it is safe to expect anything yet. But personally, since it has been more than 3 years since the last actual jailbreak update, I think it is already due to get a new one, but don't take my word for it. But I think we can expect some solid news, at least within the first half of this year. But then again, don't take my word for it, okay? So if you are on a higher firmware than 9.0, the only thing that we can do right now is wait. When will a newer version? We have always been receiving this question. When will the latest firmware will have its jailbreak? Well, it has been more than 3 years, and if there's going to be a new jailbreak, I doubt it will support the latest firmware. But if you are at least on the firmware 10.50 and lower, then you can keep your hopes up. We may be greeted with something good anytime this year, but don't ask when. No one actually knows except for the developers themselves, because they have been reporting every kinds of exploit that they can discover. and nobody knows the agreement behind that. But if you are on 9.0, you can go ahead and jailbreak your PS4. So how can we jailbreak our PS4? Well, it is actually easy. I will just leave a link on our description for the safest and fastest way to jailbreak your PS4. But how can we check our PS4 if it is jailbreakable? Let us go to the settings. And on the system, go to the system information. Here on the system firmware, you can check your system software if it is jailbreakable or not. But since I have here 11.02, I am on the latest firmware on this PS4, we don't have any chance of jailbreaking this PS4. If it shows 9.0, then you can go ahead and jailbreak your PS4. So what can we do if we are on the latest jailbreak aside from waiting? If you are on the latest firmware, it is going to be a long journey, so might as well enjoy your PS4. You can go ahead and take advantage of that opportunity. Go ahead and go online. There are some good free-to-play games. There are some cheap games that you can get on the PSN. Sometimes Sony provides 95% discount, which is actually pretty cheap. They are almost giving away some games almost for free. So if you are on the latest firmware, you might just go ahead and enjoy your PS4. Get a PS Plus, enjoy those free games, look for those discounts. We may not be able to get all of the games that we want, but we will be able to play the games on its fullest extent. And for me, I still prefer my updated PS4 compared to my jailbroken PS4. So there is still an enjoyment waiting for your updated PS4. And if you have some friends or relatives that can share their games, you can also borrow their games by logging into their PSN accounts and accessing their games. And also, one of the good things of having a digital games is actually up to 3 players can use the game at the same time. So are there anything else that we can do if we are on the higher firmware? Well, one thing that we can also do is we can just sell our unit and just get a jailbroken console. And there is already a downgrade process where you can downgrade to a lower version, but it is not guaranteed that you can downgrade as low as 9.0. And it is quite expensive. Here in the Philippines, there are already some shops that offers downgrade service, but unfortunately, it costs around 5,000 pesos. And again, it is not guaranteed that you can downgrade as low as 9.0 and lower to be able to jailbreak them. So personally, if I am that desperate to get a jailbroken PS4, then I will just go ahead and trade in my PS4 to a jailbroken PS4, or just sell and buy a jailbroken PS4. So what if you were on 9.0 and accidentally you have updated once to the latest firmware? Well, fortunately, we have this revert process where we can go back to the last firmware that we have updated from. So if you were on 9.0 and you have updated once to 11.0, then you can revert your PS4. But of course, you will need some soldering skills and some equipment, which I don't recommend because I'm not good at modifying hardware. But if you think you are confident enough to do that, you can check some videos online for the revert process. Okay, so another question, what if you want to use games or CDs? Well, you can still use that. Just keep in mind that every game has a required firmware. Say for example, Elden Ring. If you have a CD of the Elden Ring and you insert it on your jailbroken PS4, your PS4 will ask you, you need to update your PS4 first before you'll be able to play the game. And if you do that, then that is a goodbye PS4 or goodbye jailbreak. If you have some CDs you want to play on your PS4, always be mindful of the pop-up that will pop on your PS4, because all it takes is just one wrong click and that's goodbye jailbreak. And another question, can you go online on a jailbroken PS4? Unfortunately, no. There is a wide area network that you can use to play with other players, but to be able to go online, you have to be connected to the PSN, which is a no-no for every jailbroken PS4. So if your PS4 is jailbroken, prepare yourself for a lot of offline games. What if you have multiple jailbroken PS4? Can you connect them via LAN? Yes, you can. And we have been doing that for the past years. We have been playing a lot of Call of Duties and some LAN games. And yes, you can do that on a jailbroken PS4. You can play with different PS4, or you can play with different jailbroken PS4 via LAN. So this will be it. If you have some questions or suggestions, or if there are some topics that we have failed to discuss, please go ahead and share them on our comment section and I will definitely address them. And again, this is Ali. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you on our next video. Bye bye.